This is going to be a quick tutorial on how to make a clay boat for my second graders. And a quick reminder, if you have any leftover clay, you can use it to make whatever you want, and whatever you turn into the school, I will fire it for you. The only rule is don't turn anything that's super thick. So like if you made like a big ball out of clay and turned that in, I wouldn't be able to fire it because it's too thick. So don't have anything that's like really thicker than like your thumb or much thicker than like a pencil, because things that are super thick will not do well in the kiln. They'll probably break. Okay, so this is the real quick way to make a boat. I'm taking my brown clay. I also told some of you in class, if your clay is too hard for you to like tear a piece off, it's just super hard, what you can do is you can leave it in your bag. Put about like half a cup of water, just pour that into the bag with the clay, close up the bag, and then leave it overnight. And then the next day, poke at the clay and see if it got soft enough to work with. And if it didn't, repeat that process. If it's too hard, that's because it's dry and it just needs more water. Okay, so I just broke off a big piece of clay, nothing that I can't fit in my hand fairly easily. And now I'm just going to make it into a ball, because for this we're starting with a pinch pot, right? So I make like a ball of clay. It doesn't have to be like a perfect ball because I'm going to turn this into a boat. And then I'm sticking my thumb in it. And then I'm going to start pinching out the sides, right? Because that's how we start a pinch pot. So I'm pinching the sides of this sort of bowl that I've made. And look, the hole is getting bigger. The sides are getting thinner. And then I just keep on doing that. Now, when you make a pinch pot, always remember to feel the bottom parts too, not just the edges. You want to feel the bottoms and make sure that that is getting pinched also, so that you don't have like a super thick bottom and then a really thin top. You want all the sides of this pinch pot to be about the same thickness. So I'm just pinching this, pinching this, pinching this, and the more I pinch it, the thinner the walls are getting, and the bottom, right? And that means that the hole is getting bigger, and the whole thing is just getting bigger, right? And it's kind of turning more and more into something that I can turn into a boat. So I've gotten these sides pretty thin. And if you get like things like cracks and uneven edges, don't worry about that. You can always fix that up later. You can put a little water on your cracks, try to smooth it out. You know, it's not a big deal. This is clay. Look, see, I can kind of move it around. I can smooth it. There's a big crack there. I can kind of just smush it and smooth it with my fingers. So you can kind of play around with it if you don't like how it's looking, and just try to change the shape of it by pinching and smoothing things. All right, so once I have this kind of thinned out and it's a lot bigger, now I can kind of like make it more like a boat shape. So boats are kind of like, they're usually a little longer like this, you know? And so I can kind of do that. And I can give it a flat bottom by just kind of tapping it on the table there. So now it's got like a flat bottom. Don't forget to write your name on it, right? So I'm going to write my name. I'm Ms. Knox, right? So I put my name on the bottom. Okay, so now we've got a basic boat shape. Now I said that if you want to have a sail later, like if you want your boat to have a mast, which is like that stick that sticks up, and then have like a little sail that we're going to make later, then this is what you have to do. You have to break off a little piece of clay, just a little piece, roll it into a ball, like a bead basically, and then take your toothpick or a fork. If you ran out of toothpicks, you can use a fork, and you're just going to scratch that bead like that, add a little water to it, and then scratch the middle of your boat, because this is where the mast would come up from, that stick that kind of comes up from the middle. That's where it would come out from. Oops, I dropped my bead. Okay, and then, see, I have wet scratches. Put those wet scratches together, and now I have a bead in the middle of the boat. But I need to have a hole in it so that I can stick my mast in it later. So just grab like a pencil or a pen or something that has like a blunt end, and then just push that into the bead like that. Just kind of push it in so that you make a hole in it. So see, now I have a hole in that bead. And later, after these are fired and painted, I will give you wooden sticks that you can glue into there, see? And it would stick up like this, and then you can add a sail. So if you want to have a sail, you got to do that bead part. And that's pretty much, that's it. At this point, you can add whatever you want. So you could draw designs on the outside of your boat with your toothpick. You could just draw designs. You could take your extra clay here and you could make little people, just little figures or animals to go in your boat. You could make furniture, like little chairs and things. You could make oars to row your boat. And in class, I even said you could make something for the front of your boat to decorate it, like a dragon head. So like you could just sit there and you could sculpt something that looks cool. So I'm going to make a quick little kind of dragon head here. Let's pinch out some little ears. I mean, you make whatever you want. My daughter, I brought one to the Zoom class. I brought one that my daughter made that had a bunny rabbit head on the front of the boat. So you don't have to do a dragon, but so you can make like a little animal head of some kind, or a dragon, or a monster face or something. And then you could attach it to the front of your boat. So if I want to attach this, all I have to do is scratch to attach. So let's say I'm going to put it right here in the front. So I'll scratch with my toothpick where it's going to go. And then I'm going to scratch on the bottom of its neck here where I'm going to attach it. Add a little bit of water, because that's how we have to attach things with clay, is scratches and water. And then I can attach this by just pressing it on and smoothing on the clay so it stays in place. And now I have a boat that has a sort of like, that kind of looks more like a mouse head. I'd have to work on that a little more to make it look more dragon-like. But like I said, you can make whatever you want on your boat. You can decorate it however you want. This is just a fun project that later on we can add a sail to it and add other things to it if we want to and paint them. So just have fun making a sailboat or another kind of boat that's just how you like it. I even had one student in class who said they didn't want to have a sailboat, so they didn't do the bead part because they didn't want to have a sail. So you make your boat however you want to make it. And like I said, anything that you make out of your clay, use up all your clay, because anything you turn in, I will fire for you. And then I will give it back to you with some glaze so you can paint it. Good luck, everybody.